You asked for me. Here I am.
You want to help me?
Is there anything you remember?
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Thaddeus Ross.
Friends, if you want to watch the super hit upcoming movie Captain America 2025 in English, then make sure to like this video. And if you are visiting our channel for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel Facts and Review. Friends, in today's video, the movie we're going to talk about is called Captain America 2025. We'll discuss what this movie is all about, where you can watch it, and all the interesting facts related to it. In this video, I'll also tell you on which OTT platform or satellite channel this movie will be available to watch. Not only that, we'll go into detail about its technical department, music, pre-production, filming, post-production, budget, and its expected box office collection. We'll also talk about the storyline of this movie, and I'll share a short review of the film's plot. Apart from that, we'll discuss the facts about this movie, the star cast, the performances of the actors, and who played which character. That's why I request you all to watch this video till the end. So let's begin the video. Captain America, Brave New World, 2025, unfolds as a politically charged thriller that delves deep into the complexities of leadership, legacy, and power within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Directed by Julius Onah, the film follows Sam Wilson's journey as he embraces his new role as Captain America, navigating a world fraught with political intrigue and emerging threats. BusinessInsider.com. +16. Reddit.com. +16. Airtel.in. +16. Reddit.com. +7. Airtel.in. +7. Sportsguida.com. +7. Narrative structure and story progression. The film adheres to a conventional three-act structure while integrating elements of political drama and personal conflict. Act I, The Mantle of Leadership. Sam Wilson meets with the newly elected U.S. President, Thaddeus Ross, Harrison Ford, to discuss a recent international incident. This meeting propels Sam into a complex web of political tensions and conspiracies. TheFutureOfTheForce.com. +5. DREcap.com. +5. Marvel.com. +5. Act 2, Unveiling the Conspiracy. As Sam investigates, he uncovers a plot involving gamma radiation research and the re-emergence of Samuel Stearns, also known as the leader, Tim Blake Nelson. The narrative intensifies with the introduction of Sidewinder, Giancarlo Esposito, adding layers to the unfolding conspiracy. Airtel.in. +3. What'sAfterTheMovie.com. +3. RollingOut.com. +3. Act 3, Confrontation and Resolution. The climax centers around President Ross's transformation into the Red Hulk during a public event, leading to a catastrophic confrontation. Sam, relying on his strategic acumen and moral compass, confronts Ross, ultimately helping him regain control. Reddit.com. +4. RollingOut.com. +4. What'sAfterTheMovie.com. +4. The film concludes with Sam taking steps to rebuild the Avengers, signaling a new era for the team. TheDirect.com. Key turning points and conflicts. Ross's transformation. The unexpected metamorphosis of President Ross into the Red Hulk serves as a pivotal moment, challenging Sam's resolve and leadership. TheUBJ.com. +7. What'sAfterTheMovie.com. +7. Airtel.in. +7. Stearns' manipulations. The leader's orchestration of events, including the distribution of gamma-laden pills, underscores the theme of unchecked scientific ambition. What'sAfterTheMovie.com. Sam's moral dilemmas. Throughout the film, Sam grapples with the ethical implications of his actions, striving to uphold the ideals of Captain America while confronting the realities of political power. Performing arts' emotional and thematic impact. Brave New World delves into themes of identity, responsibility, and the burdens of leadership. en.wikipedia.org. +3. Marvel.com. +3. People.com. +3. Legacy and identity. Sam's journey reflects the challenges of stepping into a role with a storied history, particularly as a black man assuming the mantle of Captain America. Sportsguida.com. Power and corruption. The film examines how power can corrupt, as seen in Ross's transformation and Stearns' manipulations, prompting reflections on accountability and integrity. DREcap.com. +2. RollingOut.com. +2. What'sAfterTheMovie.com. +2. Unity and rebuilding. The narrative emphasizes the importance of unity and the collective effort required to rebuild and move forward after turmoil. Narrative techniques. While the film follows a linear progression, it employs flashbacks and character-driven storytelling to enrich the narrative. Character backstories. Insights into characters like Isaiah Bradley provide depth and context, linking past events to current challenges. Political intrigue. The storyline incorporates elements reminiscent of political thrillers, adding complexity to the superhero genre. Airtel.in. +1. Rollingout.com. +1. In summary, Captain America, Brave New World presents a multifaceted narrative that balances action with profound thematic explorations, marking a significant chapter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Sam Wilson as Captain America. Character arc and growth. Sam Wilson's journey is the emotional and thematic core of the film. From a reluctant inheritor of the Captain America mantle in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Sam has now fully embraced his role. However, Brave New World challenges him not just as a symbol, but as a leader in a divided political climate. Internal conflict. He struggles with imposter syndrome and the burden of representing a nation that hasn't always stood by people like him. The film explores how he defines Captain America on his own terms rather than trying to mimic Steve Rogers. Growth. By the climax, Sam proves that Captain America's strength is not in serum or superpowers, but in conviction, courage, and diplomacy. He chooses to de-escalate rather than destroy, even when facing the threat of Red Hulk. Symbolism. His journey represents a broader message of inclusion, evolution, and the redefinition of American ideals. Large red circle. General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross a Red Hulk. Character arc and symbolism. Thaddeus Ross, now the U.S. President, is a powerful figure driven by fear and control. His transformation into Red Hulk is not just physical, it's metaphorical. Motivation. Ross believes strength and military force are the only ways to maintain order. His decisions are shaped by past failures and his growing paranoia about superpowered threats. Downfall and complexity. His arc reflects the dangers of unchecked power. Even as Red Hulk, he is not portrayed as purely evil but as a tragic figure, a patriot consumed by his desire for dominance and order. Emotional conflict. In a key moment, Sam appeals to the man behind the monster, helping Ross momentarily regain control, adding depth to Ross's role beyond a standard villain. Samuel Stearns are the leader. Motivation and manipulation. Stearns returns as an intellectual threat rather than a physical one. His agenda is rooted in manipulation, using gamma science to reshape society as he sees fit. Antagonistic role. He sees himself as a visionary, not a villain. His belief in creating a superior world through evolution mirrors past MCU villains like Ultron, but with a more calculating presence. Narrative function. Stearns acts as a catalyst that brings both Ross and Sam into conflict. His manipulations test Sam's ideals and push Ross over the edge. Lack of physical power. Unlike most MCU antagonists, Stearns' threat is ideological and cerebral. His character highlights the danger of manipulation through science and intellect. Snake Sidewinder, Giancarlo Esposito. New character, deep threat. Esposito's Sidewinder is introduced as a shadowy antagonist, possibly working with or against Stearns. His motives remain ambiguous, making him an unpredictable wildcard in the film. Presence and performance. Sidewinder adds tension and world-building depth. His charisma, intelligence, and mystery offer a fresh kind of villain, one who thrives in moral gray areas. Future setup. His role seems to set up future MCU storylines, particularly in espionage and underground movements. Isaiah Bradley. Legacy and healing. Isaiah Bradley, the forgotten black super soldier, returns in a limited but emotionally powerful role. Narrative impact. His presence helps ground Sam's emotional arc. Their conversations touch on themes of patriotism, betrayal, and reconciliation with history. Symbolic function. Isaiah's past contrasts with Sam's future, and their relationship highlights how far the country, and its heroes, have come, while also showing how much further they have to go. Handshake character relationships and dynamics. Sam and Ross, ideological opposites. Ross sees power as authority. Sam sees it as responsibility. Their confrontations reflect the core political and ethical tension in the film. Sam and Stearns, while they never engage physically, their philosophical conflict is key. Stearns challenges Sam's belief in human integrity and democracy. Sam and Isaiah acts as a mentor-student dynamic. Isaiah's hardened view challenges Sam's idealism, giving emotional weight to Sam's eventual choices. Performing arts final assessment. Are the characters well developed? Absolutely. The film offers layered portrayals where protagonists evolve through real challenges. Antagonists are more than villains, they are ideologically complex. Supporting characters enhance the core themes of legacy, power, and morality. These arcs are intricately woven into the plot, making Captain America: Brave New World not just a superhero film, but a character-driven political drama that deepens the emotional and thematic impact of the MCU. Would you like this analysis adapted into a script-style narration for your YouTube video? Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson as Captain America. Anthony Mackie steps into the role of Captain America with a performance that emphasizes empathy and moral fortitude. Critics have noted that Mackie brings a grounded, humanistic approach to the character, distinguishing him from his predecessor, Steve Rogers. His portrayal underscores the challenges of leading without superhuman abilities, relying instead on conviction and resilience. However, some reviews suggest that while Mackie's performance is earnest, it occasionally lacks the commanding presence expected of the titular hero. Large red circle Harrison Ford as President Thaddeus Ross are Red Hulk. Harrison Ford's portrayal of President Ross is marked by a blend of authority and internal conflict. Stepping into the role previously held by the late William Hurt, Ford infuses Ross with a sense of gravitas and complexity. His performance captures the character's struggle between duty and personal demons, particularly evident in his transformation into the Red Hulk. Critics have praised Ford for bringing depth to a role that could have easily been one-dimensional. CBR.com. +1. DinoFgeek.com. +1. Tim Blake Nelson as Samuel Stearns are the leader. Returning to the MCU, Tim Blake Nelson delivers a performance that balances intellect and menace. As the leader, Nelson portrays a villain whose cerebral approach contrasts with the physicality of other antagonists. While his screen time is limited, Nelson's nuanced performance adds a layer of sophistication to the film's exploration of power and control. The FFW podcast.b4.com. Snake Giancarlo Esposito as Sidewinder. Giancarlo Esposito introduces Sidewinder with his characteristic intensity and precision. Though the character's development is somewhat constrained by the script, Esposito's portrayal imbues Sidewinder with a sense of calculated menace. His performance hints at a deeper backstory, suggesting potential for future exploration within the MCU. CBR.com. Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley. Carl Lumbly's reprisal of Isaiah Bradley stands out as one of the film's most emotionally resonant performances. Lumbly conveys the weight of Bradley's past with subtlety and power, offering a poignant commentary on legacy and injustice. His interactions with Sam Wilson provide some of the film's most compelling moments, grounding the superhero narrative in real-world themes. Tribune.com.pk. +4. CBR.com. +4. DeepFocusReview.com. +4. Dove Danny Ramirez as Joaquin Torres as Falcon. Danny Ramirez brings charm and energy to the role of Joaquin Torres. His dynamic with Mackie's Sam Wilson adds a layer of camaraderie and levity to the film. While some critics feel that Torres's character could have been further developed, Ramirez's performance suggests a promising future for the character within the MCU. Decider.com. +8. Tribune.com.pk. +8. Collider.com. +8. Israeli Shira Haas as Ruth Bat Serapha Sabra. Shira Haas introduces Sabra with a performance that hints at the character's complexity and strength. Though her role in the film is relatively brief, Haas's portrayal adds depth to the ensemble, and her character's potential for future storylines is evident. nypost.com. +7. CBR.com. +7. Collider.com. +7. Performing Arts Overall Assessment. The performances in Captain America: Brave New World contribute significantly to the film's exploration of themes such as identity, power, and legacy. While some characters are given more room to develop than others, the cast's collective efforts provide a foundation for the film's narrative ambitions. Standout performances by Harrison Ford and Carl Lumbly, in particular, elevate the film's emotional impact, offering audiences a nuanced portrayal of heroism and its complexity's tone and mood. Owner sets a grounded and politically tense tone from the very beginning. The film feels more like a political thriller or espionage drama than a traditional superhero movie, reminiscent of Captain America, the Winter Soldier, but more reflective and ideological. Political realism. Through the lens of Sam Wilson's struggles as the new Captain America, Owner infuses the narrative with discussions of race, legacy, and national identity. The film feels serious in tone, and that gravity is felt in dialogue, color palette, and scene composition. Moral ambiguity. Characters are painted in shades of gray. Owner avoids painting villains as purely evil. Instead, he focuses on their motivations. President Ross, for instance, is portrayed as a man haunted by fear, rather than driven by evil intentions. Movie camera shot composition and visual language. Owner and cinematographer Kramer Morgenthau employ a more grounded and intimate visual style than typical MCU spectacles. Close-up shots. These are used liberally to emphasize emotion, particularly in scenes involving Sam Wilson or Isaiah Bradley. The tight framing often conveys internal conflict and weighty decision-making. Muted color grading. The palette leans toward darker, desaturated hues, steel grays, deep blues, and somber lighting dominate, mirroring the seriousness of the plot. Symbolic framing. Key scenes, such as Sam confronting President Ross or speaking to crowds as Captain America, are staged to visually frame him as both a public symbol and a personal figure. Stopwatch pacing and structure. Pacing is deliberate and methodical, especially in the first 2 acts. Owner allows the story to build slowly, prioritizing dialogue and character development over spectacle. This choice gives weight to the political and emotional threads but might test the patience of viewers expecting wall-to-wall action. Act 1 sets up a morally divided America. Owner uses tension and newsreel-style exposition to make the world feel fractured and real. Act 2 introduces multiple ideological players, Sam, Ross, Stearns, each representing different views of power and justice. Final act. The pace quickens here. Owner crafts an emotionally resonant finale where action takes a backseat to resolution and redemption, especially between Sam and Ross. This structure might not appeal to viewers seeking constant high-octane moments, but it enriches the narrative's emotional weight and realism. Artist palette. Stylistic and thematic choices. Owner makes several bold stylistic choices that distinguish Brave New World from past Marvel films. Minimalist action. Compared to earlier MCU entries, this film features fewer, but more grounded, fight sequences. Hand-to-hand combat is emphasized over CGI-laden battles. This grounds the film in reality and reflects Sam's human limitations. Sound design and score. Henry Jackman's score is subtly integrated, often swelling during emotional and thematic crescendos rather than bombastic hero moments. Owner ensures the score serves the story's emotional beats, not just spectacle. Narrative symbolism. Sam's struggle is mirrored by the film's setting, an America torn between fear and hope. Every confrontation, especially with Ross and Stearns, doubles as a philosophical debate. Narrative vision and impact. Owner's narrative vision is focused, daring, and thematically bold. He attempts to evolve the Marvel formula by placing ideological and emotional struggles above pure action. Themes of legacy. What does it mean to inherit a mantle like Captain America in a broken world? Heroism without powers. Owner highlights that being Captain America is not about super strength but about leadership, empathy, and conviction. Dialogue-driven tension. The film often pits characters in rooms rather than battlefields, letting performances and dialogue carry tension. Some critics praised this realism, while others found it too slow. Pushpin final assessment. Direction by Julius Owner. Julius Owner shapes Captain America, Brave New World into one of the more thoughtful and ideologically rich entries in the MCU. White heavy checkmark. Strengths: thoughtful direction, emotional depth, political nuance, grounded visual style, and character-driven narrative. Crossmark. Potential drawbacks: slower pacing and fewer action beats may not appeal to all MCU fans. In conclusion, Owner's work elevates the film with a distinctive voice, one that respects the legacy of Captain America but isn't afraid to question what that legacy means in today's world. Would you like this section transformed into a script format for your YouTube channel? In Captain America, Brave New World, 2025, cinematographer Kramer Morgenthau collaborates with director Julius Owner to craft a visual narrative that intertwines political intrigue with superhero action. Drawing inspiration from 1970s political thrillers like All the President's Men and The Parallax View, Morgenthau employs vintage anamorphic lenses and a restrained color palette to evoke a grounded, filmic aesthetic. en.wikipedia.org. Movie camera techniques and framing. Morgenthau's cinematography emphasizes close-up shots and tight framing to convey the characters' emotional states and the film's tense atmosphere. This approach aligns with the film's thematic focus on surveillance and political paranoia. However, some critics have noted that the use of shallow depth of field and center framing can render certain scenes visually monotonous. uskanenbergmedia.com. Electric light bulb lighting and color palette. The film utilizes a muted color scheme, predominantly featuring cool tones to reflect its serious and somber mood. Notably, the color red is sparingly used to symbolize chaos, making the appearance of the Red Hulk more impactful. en.wikipedia.org. Cherry blossom visual symbolism. Cherry blossoms are a recurring visual motif throughout the film, representing themes of empathy and renewal. These blossoms are prominently featured in Washington, D.C. scenes, including the climactic battle between Captain America and the Red Hulk. en.wikipedia.org. Clapperboard action sequences and visual effects. The film's action sequences are a mix of practical effects and CGI. Hand-to-hand combat scenes are choreographed with a focus on realism, reminiscent of the Daredevil series corridor fights. However, some critics have pointed out that certain CGI-heavy scenes, such as the aerial battle over the Indian Ocean, suffer from inconsistent visual quality. Cineamafilm.com. Casemovimania.com. Artist palette overall visual impact. While Captain America, Brave New World strives for a grounded and politically charged aesthetic, its cinematography has received mixed reviews. The film's visual choices effectively support its thematic intentions but occasionally falter in execution, particularly in CGI-heavy scenes. Nonetheless, Morgenthau's efforts contribute to a distinctive visual identity within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Black Scissors Editing, a disjointed narrative flow. The film's editing has been a focal point of criticism. Viewers have noted abrupt transitions and scenes that feel incomplete or disconnected. For instance, an early sequence where Sam Wilson walks through a bar suggests an impending meeting, but the scene cuts away without resolution, leaving audiences puzzled. JoshuaDelglass.com. Such instances contribute to a sense of narrative disjunction, where the story progresses in a manner that feels more like a series of vignettes than a cohesive whole. This fragmented approach can disrupt viewer engagement, as the lack of seamless transitions hampers the storytelling rhythm. Stopwatch pacing, inconsistent momentum. The film's pacing oscillates between sluggish exposition and hurried plot developments. The first act is laden with heavy exposition, which some critics describe as dragging. Conversely, the third act accelerates rapidly, culminating in action sequences that, while visually impressive, feel rushed and lack the necessary build-up for emotional impact. IndiaToday.in. This uneven pacing affects the film's ability to maintain consistent engagement, as the shifts in tempo can be jarring and detract from the overall narrative experience. Counterclockwise arrows, reshoots, and structural cohesion. Reports of extensive reshoots and rewrites are evident in the film's structure. Critics have pointed out that certain scenes appear to be inserted without organic integration, leading to a disjointed narrative flow. The presence of these reshoots contributes to the perception of a film that, while ambitious, struggles with structural cohesion. Editorial.rottentomatoes.com. +1. scifipony.neocities.org. +1. Clapperboard action sequences, highlights amidst inconsistency. Despite the aforementioned issues, the film's action sequences have been praised for their choreography and visual execution. Notably, the climactic battle showcases Captain America's agility and strategic prowess, offering a fresh take on superhero combat. IndiaToday.in. However, the impact of these sequences is somewhat diminished by the film's overall pacing and editing inconsistencies, which can undermine the build-up and emotional resonance typically associated with such climaxes. Performing arts' emotional and narrative impact. The film endeavors to explore themes of legacy, identity, and political intrigue. Yet, the uneven editing and pacing hinder the depth and clarity of these themes. The rapid transitions and lack of narrative cohesion make it challenging for audiences to fully engage with the characters' emotional journeys and the story's thematic undercurrents. Conclusion. Captain America, Brave New World aspires to blend political drama with superhero action, aiming to offer a nuanced narrative within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. While its action sequences and thematic intentions are commendable, the film's editing and pacing issues detract from its overall effectiveness. The disjointed narrative flow and inconsistent tempo challenge viewer engagement and dilute the emotional and thematic impact the film seeks to achieve. Film editing and pacing in Captain America, Brave New World, 2025. In Captain America, Brave New World, the film's editing, helmed by a post-production team navigating through multiple reshoots and rewrites, plays a pivotal role in shaping the audience's emotional rhythm. However, while the editing aims to balance dense political themes with MCU action expectations, it results in a final product that often feels uneven and inconsistent. Black Scissors editing style and structural flow. From the outset, the film establishes a serious and grounded tone. The opening sequences, featuring Sam Wilson navigating political conflicts and military pressure, are edited with a slow, methodical rhythm. Scenes linger slightly longer than in most Marvel entries, allowing actors time to breathe and dialogue to resonate. But as the story progresses, the the editing begins to reveal the effects of behind-the-scenes restructuring. Scene jumps without resolution. Several scenes introduce dramatic tension but end abruptly or cut to the next moment without payoff. For example, when Sam confronts President Ross for the first time, the editing trims what appears to be a longer conversation, jumping to a different location mid-conflict. These disjointed cuts create a start-stop effect in the narrative flow. Montage usage. The film relies on montage editing to compress time, particularly in the second act, showing Sam's internal conflicts, Red Hulk's emergence, and Layla Taylor's investigations. These montages, while visually compelling, sometimes gloss over character development or key transitions that should be more immersive. Action editing. In battle sequences, the editing takes on a faster pace. Fight scenes are cut with tighter, quick edits to heighten intensity, especially during hand-to-hand combat. However, the clarity of these sequences can be compromised. Some critics noted that the rapid cuts made choreography hard to follow, particularly during the nighttime fight in the Washington Memorial Garden. Stopwatch pacing, act-by-act breakdown. Small Blue Diamond Act 1. Slow but thematic. The film begins slowly, building a world riddled with political distrust, social division, and military oversight. The pacing is deliberate, prioritizing dialogue and thematic depth over spectacle. For some viewers, this slower start is refreshing and meaningful. For others, it feels sluggish and lacking forward momentum. Small Blue Diamond Act 2, overstuffed and compressed. This act introduces multiple threads: Sam's crisis of leadership, the emergence of Red Hulk, Isaiah Bradley's return, and political unrest. The pacing quickens, but at the cost of depth. Scenes are shorter and more fragmented, and transitions between plot lines are often jarring. Critics describe this portion as the most uneven, where important developments are rushed through montage or exposition. Small Blue Diamond Act 3, fast, climactic, and abrupt. The final act shifts to high gear with large-scale action scenes and narrative resolutions. The editing here emphasizes spectacle: Sam versus Red Hulk, explosions across the Capitol, and power shifts in Washington. However, because the build-up was rushed, some resolutions, e.g., Ross's fate, the Layla-Sam dynamic, the aftermath of the Hulk battle, feel unearned or emotionally flat. Performing arts emotional and thematic rhythm. The rhythm of a film isn't just about speed, it's about how well the story flows emotionally. Brave New World suffers from uneven emotional pacing. Sam Wilson's arc, from uncertainty to embodiment of Captain America, should build steadily. Instead, editing shortcuts sometimes undercut his transformation. Character moments, like Isaiah Bradley reflecting on his past, or Sam bonding with Layla Taylor, are effective when allowed to breathe, but these moments are too often sidelined to make room for plot progression. The final scene, where Sam delivers a unifying speech, aims for emotional impact, but its brevity and rushed placement after the climax weaken its resonance. Clapperboard impact of reshoots and rewrites. The editing inconsistencies can largely be attributed to extensive reshoots reported in 2023 to 2024. Major story changes, including the restructuring of President Ross's role and the late-stage addition of Red Hulk. Script rewrites after test screenings, which led to removal or reordering of key scenes. These production challenges forced editors to stitch together a story that, while coherent on the surface, lacks the smooth narrative and emotional progression of earlier Captain America films. Conclusion: a rhythm at odds with itself. From a third-person perspective, Captain America: Brave New World strives to be a grounded political thriller within a superhero universe. But the editing and pacing reflect a conflict between ideological storytelling and blockbuster demands. Strengths: thoughtful moments, grounded character scenes, occasional visual elegance. Weaknesses: choppy transitions, underdeveloped subplots, rushed resolutions, and a tonal imbalance in pacing. Ultimately, while the film contains glimpses of depth and ambition, its editorial rhythm often undermines the emotional and narrative payoff it seeks to deliver. Would you like this section rewritten into a script format for YouTube narration or video voiceover? Thematic composition and motifs. Cartman's score introduces a new heroic theme representing Sam Wilson, Joaquin Torres, and Isaiah Bradley, signaling a generational shift in the Captain America legacy. Additionally, she crafts an Aaron Copland-inspired piano theme for President Thaddeus Ross, which evolves into a more monstrous motif as Ross transforms into the Red Hulk. EW.com. +6. en.wikipedia.org. +6. timesofindia.indiatimes.com. +6. The film's thriller elements are underscored with conspiracy music, drawing comparisons to the Mission Impossible franchise. Cartman also weaves in a subtle nod to Alan Silvestri's iconic Captain America march, providing a link to the character's musical past. en.wikipedia.org. Headphone integration of licensed music. Beyond the original score, the film incorporates existing songs to enhance its narrative. Kendrick Lamar's 2014 track I plays over the end credits, serving as a thematic bookend to Sam Wilson's journey. Moreover, the 1959 song Mr. Blue by the Fleetwoods recurs throughout the film as a trigger for characters under mind control, referencing Samuel Stern's alias from The Incredible Hulk. en.wikipedia.org. +1. timesofindia.indiatimes.com. +1. Violin critical reception. Critics have offered mixed reviews of Cartman's score. Some praise its ability to heighten action sequences and underscore the film's darker moments. However, others feel the score lacks a cohesive thematic vision and fails to establish a memorable musical identity for Sam Wilson's Captain America. Micheladano.com. +9. cgmagonline.com. +9. reddit.com. +9. The absence of Henry Jackman, who composed the scores for previous Captain America films, is noted by some as a missed opportunity to maintain musical continuity. Cartman's fresh approach, while innovative, has been described as occasionally out of sync with the film's tone. Reddit.com. +2. thefutureoftheforce.com. +2. reddit.com. +2. Clapperboard overall impact. Cartman's composition strives to reflect the film's blend of political drama and superhero spectacle. While it introduces new themes and integrates diverse musical styles, the score's reception suggests that it may not fully resonate with all audiences. Nonetheless, it represents a bold attempt to redefine the sonic landscape of the Captain America franchise. Soundtrack and score in Captain America, Brave New World, 2025. In Captain America, Brave New World, composer Laura Cartman takes on the formidable task of reshaping the sonic identity of the Captain America franchise in the absence of original composer Henry Jackman. Known for her bold, genre-defying work in projects like Ms. Marvel and What If, Cartman crafts a score that attempts to mirror the film's complex tone, part grounded political thriller, part superhero epic. The result is a musically ambitious yet occasionally uneven score that reflects both the evolution of Sam Wilson's Captain America and the film's thematic undercurrents. Musical score themes and motifs, a musical identity in transition. Small Blue Diamond Sam Wilson's new heroic theme. At the heart of the score lies a new heroic motif representing Sam Wilson, Isaiah Bradley, and Joaquin Torres, meant to signify a generational handoff of the Captain America legacy. This theme is bold but understated, incorporating brass-forward orchestration that grows more confident throughout the film. Early in the film, it plays cautiously, almost uncertain, mirroring Sam's reluctance. By the climax, the same melody returns with full orchestral power, showcasing his transformation into a worthy and confident Captain America. This evolution through music subtly guides the audience's emotional perception of Sam's growth, even when the screenplay falls short in developing his arc with consistent clarity. Small Blue Diamond President Ross and Red Hulk, duality through music. One of the more inventive choices Cartman makes is the Copland-inspired piano theme for President Thaddeus Ross. The piece evokes Americana, dignity, patriotism, and calm authority. However, as Ross's darker, more unstable side is revealed, especially when he transforms into the Red Hulk, this piano theme becomes twisted and percussive, shifting into a monstrous, distorted motif with heavy brass, growling bass, and fractured rhythms. This transformation through sound effectively externalizes the psychological conflict of Ross, the protector of democracy becoming its potential destroyer. Small Blue Diamond, the conspiracy motif. Reflecting the film's political thriller roots, Cartman develops an ongoing conspiracy motif, a suspenseful, dissonant musical thread similar to themes found in Mission Impossible or Captain America, the Winter Soldier. It uses plucked strings, metallic percussion, and pulsing synths to heighten tension during scenes of espionage, double-crossing, and internal government conflict. This motif becomes increasingly prevalent as the film's narrative dives into the complexities of power, control, and manipulation. Headphone licensed tracks, a cultural and emotional layer. Unlike some Marvel entries that rely exclusively on orchestral work, Brave New World integrates licensed tracks to offer emotional texture and contemporary relevance. Musical Note I by Kendrick Lamar. Played during the end credits, This 2014 song encapsulates Sam's journey from inner conflict to self-assured heroism. The choice of a socially conscious hip-hop track reflects Sam's alignment with real-world struggles, identity, race, leadership, and gives cultural resonance to his version of Captain America. Musical note: Mr. Blue by the Fleetwoods, 1959. Used multiple times in key scenes, this hauntingly gentle track is associated with mind control, specifically tied to Samuel Stearns, the leader, and his psychological conditioning. The juxtaposition of a serene 1950s ballad with moments of horror, e.g., agents turning violent after hearing the song, creates a chilling contrast, giving the film one of its most memorable audiovisual motifs. Violin emotional resonance and use of silence. Cartman demonstrates restraint in several scenes by allowing silence or minimal instrumentation to drive emotional beats. For example, Isaiah Bradley's flashback sequence is underscored only with sparse strings and ambient hums, creating a mood of reflection and pain without overwhelming the dialogue. In moments of moral contemplation, particularly when Sam debates taking action against the government, the score fades entirely, letting the actor's performance carry weight without musical guidance. This silence becomes a powerful tool in a film that often leans heavily on political dialogue. Critical reception: divided yet appreciative. Critics have offered mixed reactions to the score. White heavy checkmark praise. Bold thematic experimentation, especially the dual themes for Ross and Sam. Effective atmosphere building during suspense scenes and Red Hulk's emergence. Smart integration of licensed tracks that add texture and cultural commentary. Crossmark criticism. Lack of thematic memorability compared to previous Captain America films. Some critics felt Cartman's musical palette was too eclectic, creating a sense of tonal fragmentation, mirroring some of the film's structural weaknesses. The score sometimes becomes overwhelming in action sequences, attempting to heighten emotional stakes that the script does not fully deliver. Clapperboard conclusion: an ambitious soundscape for a complex legacy. From a third-person perspective, Captain America: Brave New World uses its score as both a narrative tool and an emotional guide. Laura Cartman's music does not merely accompany the film. It comments on it, challenges it, and reshapes it, attempting to reflect the internal tensions of its characters and the societal themes at play. While not as immediately iconic as Henry Jackman's earlier Captain America scores, Cartman's work stands out for its thematic layering, emotional complexity, and bold stylistic diversity. Her soundtrack mirrors the film's ambition, even if it doesn't always achieve perfect harmony. Would you like a YouTube script or voiceover-style version of this review section? Hems and messages in Captain America: Brave New World, 2025. Captain America: Brave New World ventures beyond the traditional superhero fare to explore a range of complex, timely themes that reflect contemporary societal and political anxieties. Through its narrative, characters, and conflicts, the film attempts to dissect ideas about identity, power, patriotism, and justice. While ambitious in scope, the execution of these themes is uneven, sometimes profound and resonant, other times feeling forced or underdeveloped. Small Blue Diamond: identity and legacy. At its core, the film grapples with the burden of legacy and the search for personal identity, primarily through Sam Wilson's journey as the new Captain America. The narrative questions what it truly means to inherit a mantle tied so closely to American ideals, especially for someone whose background and experience differ from that of his predecessor, Steve Rogers. Sam's internal struggle reflects broader societal questions about who gets to represent America and what that symbol should stand for in a divided, modern world. The film highlights the tension between honoring tradition and forging a new path, illustrating that legacy is not static but evolving. Isaiah Bradley's storyline further deepens this theme, revealing a painful history of racial injustice behind the Captain America mythos, which challenges Sam, and the audience, to reconsider accepted narratives about heroism and patriotism. Small Blue Diamond: patriotism versus nationalism. The film interrogates the fine line between genuine patriotism and dangerous nationalism. Through the political machinations of characters like President Ross and the Red Hulk, Brave New World exposes how symbols like Captain America can be co-opted for authoritarian ends. Ross embodies a militarized vision of America, where power is wielded aggressively for the greater good, even at the expense of civil liberties. Sam represents a more inclusive and principled patriotism, one that embraces complexity, accountability, and hope rather than blind loyalty. This ideological clash underscores current real-world debates about nationalism, government oversight, and the meaning of democracy. Small Blue Diamond: power, corruption, and accountability. A recurring message is the corrupting influence of unchecked power and the necessity of accountability in leadership. The film's portrayal of government surveillance, manipulation, and covert operations critiques the erosion of transparency and trust in institutions. Red Hulk's transformation serves as a metaphor for how absolute power can dehumanize and threaten the very ideals it claims to protect. Through Sam's refusal to be a government puppet, the film emphasizes moral courage and integrity as vital components of true leadership. Small Blue Diamond: Race, History, and Representation. Brave New World attempts to confront America's complicated racial history and its impact on heroism and representation in popular culture. Isaiah Bradley's character sheds light on the erased histories of Black soldiers and heroes whose sacrifices were ignored or suppressed. The film acknowledges systemic racism and injustice, both historically and in present-day America, through dialogue and character arcs. Sam Wilson's Captain America stands as a symbol of progress, yet his challenges highlight ongoing struggles for equality and recognition. Small Blue Diamond: The Individual versus the System. Another significant theme is the tension between individual conscience and systemic pressures. Sam is repeatedly pressured to conform to government agendas but chooses to act based on his values and sense of justice. The film portrays bureaucracy and political gamesmanship as obstacles to authentic heroism. This tension invites viewers to consider the role of personal agency in effecting change within flawed institutions. Scales: Effectiveness and Impact. The film's thematic ambition is commendable, but its execution is mixed. Certain ideas, especially around identity and race, are given emotional weight and thoughtful treatment that can leave a lasting impression. However, other themes, like the critique of nationalism or the corruption of power, sometimes come across as heavy-handed or superficial due to rushed plot developments and uneven character exploration. The multiplicity of themes occasionally leads to a diluted focus, with some messages feeling underexplored or overshadowed by action sequences. Despite these shortcomings, Captain America: Brave New World stands out within the MCU for its willingness to tackle complex social and political issues, encouraging viewers to reflect on contemporary challenges through the lens of superhero storytelling. Would you like this detailed theme analysis adapted into a concise script for a YouTube video or presentation? Themes and messages in Captain America: Brave New World 2025, a deeper dive. Captain America: Brave New World ambitiously intertwines multiple, complex themes that reflect not just superhero mythology but also larger cultural and political conversations of the 21st century. These themes operate on several levels: personal, political, and societal, creating a rich tapestry that attempts to challenge and expand the traditional superhero narrative. Small Blue Diamond: The Burden and Evolution of Legacy. One of the film's most profound themes centers on legacy, how the ideals embodied by a symbol like Captain America are passed down, reinterpreted, or challenged across generations. Sam Wilson's Captain America embodies the tensions of inheriting a legacy built on ideals that were historically exclusionary or incomplete. The film carefully dissects what it means to carry a symbol so deeply embedded in national identity when one's own experience includes systemic exclusion or marginalization. The film contrasts Steve Rogers' era, a time of near-idealized American unity, with Sam's contemporary context, marked by fragmentation and contestation over national values. Isaiah Bradley's story, a powerful undercurrent, reveals the hidden legacy of Black soldiers used and discarded by the government. His arc exposes the myth of an unblemished heroic past, adding moral complexity and historical reckoning to the film's understanding of legacy. Through these layers, the narrative argues that legacy is not a fixed inheritance but a continuous conversation between past and present, one that requires courage to acknowledge flaws and to redefine heroism for new times. Small Blue Diamond: Complex Patriotism versus Toxic Nationalism. The film boldly interrogates the difference between patriotism grounded in values and nationalism driven by power and exclusion. Sam's Captain America represents a pluralistic, inclusive patriotism, one that acknowledges the nation's imperfections but strives for justice, equity, and unity through honesty and courage. In contrast, President Ross and his transformation into Red Hulk symbolize authoritarian nationalism, a vision where might defines right, dissent is crushed, and symbols are weaponized to justify oppression. The film uses their ideological conflict to comment on real-world divisions, how national identity can be both a source of pride and a tool of exclusion, depending on who wields it and how. This theme challenges the audience to consider the dangers of blind allegiance and the importance of critical engagement with the symbols and narratives of nationhood. Small Blue Diamond: Power, Corruption, and Moral Responsibility. At its heart, The story is a meditation on power, its uses, abuses, and the necessity for moral checks. Red Hulk's arc dramatizes the transformation from protector to destroyer, illustrating how unchecked power can erode humanity and justice. The film critiques the militarization of government power, surveillance, and covert operations that compromise democratic ideals under the guise of security. Sam's resistance to becoming a government pawn emphasizes the importance of personal integrity and accountability in leadership. The narrative invites reflection on the balance between strength and ethics, how power without conscience leads to tyranny, and how heroes must navigate this treacherous terrain. Small Blue Diamond Race, Historical Injustice, and Representation. Brave New World confronts racial themes head-on, a relatively rare move in mainstream superhero cinema. Isaiah Bradley's narrative, inspired by real-world historical injustices, like the Tuskegee syphilis study, serves as a searing critique of America's treatment of black soldiers and citizens. His story forces the audience to acknowledge how racial discrimination is intertwined with national myths. Sam's position as the first black Captain America is both symbolic and pragmatic. It challenges the franchise to confront representation not just superficially but as a deep, identity-defining issue. The film attempts to explore how systemic racism shapes who is allowed to be a hero, and what that hero represents. This theme pushes the audience to consider the gaps between idealized American values and lived realities, urging a more honest reckoning with history and identity. Small Blue Diamond, the individual versus the system, agency and conscience. Throughout the film, there's an ongoing tension between individual moral agency and systemic pressures. Sam Wilson is repeatedly challenged by government forces, the military, and even his own allies to conform, to compromise, or to silence dissent. The narrative frames this struggle as emblematic of a larger democratic ideal, the importance of standing up against institutional injustice, even when it is dangerous or unpopular. This theme resonates beyond the superhero context, echoing debates about whistleblowing, civil disobedience, and the role of conscience in public life. By dramatizing Sam's resistance, the film asserts that true heroism requires courage not only in battle but in maintaining one's principles amid coercion. Small Blue Diamond, the fragility and resilience of democracy. Underlying many of the film's conflicts is an implicit commentary on the state of democracy itself. The political intrigue and conspiracies in the film reflect anxieties about governmental overreach, surveillance culture, and the erosion of civil rights. Through its plot and characters, the film warns against complacency in defending democratic institutions, suggesting that symbols like Captain America must serve as active guardians of freedom rather than empty icons. The tension between the need for security and the preservation of liberty forms a core philosophical dilemma of the film, echoing contemporary debates about privacy, power, and governance. Scales effectiveness and lasting impact. While Captain America, Brave New World sometimes struggles to weave its many themes into a cohesive whole, its ambition in tackling such weighty and relevant topics is notable. Certain themes, especially those around race, legacy, and moral integrity, are explored with emotional sincerity and provide thought-provoking reflections that linger beyond the film's runtime. Other themes, such as nationalism and democratic fragility, occasionally feel surface-level or overtly expository, diminishing their impact. The film's thematic richness invites audiences to reconsider the superhero genre as a space not only for entertainment, but for engaging with social and political realities. Ultimately, the film challenges viewers to think critically about symbols, power structures, and their own role in shaping the narratives of heroism and citizenship. Would you like me to help you draft a YouTube video script or essay based on this detailed thematic analysis? Visual effects and CGI in Captain America, Brave New World, 2025. In Captain America, Brave New World, the filmmakers employ a sophisticated blend of cutting-edge CGI and practical effects to bring the sprawling, high-stakes superhero narrative to life. The visual effects team faced the challenge of maintaining a believable world that could support both grounded political drama and larger-than-life action sequences, all while preserving the emotional core of the story. Small Blue Diamond integration of CGI with the film's world. The CGI in Brave New World generally blends seamlessly into the film's realistic tone, avoiding the overly stylized or cartoonish look sometimes seen in superhero blockbusters. The film favors naturalistic lighting, subtle digital compositing, and detailed textures, which help CGI elements coexist believably alongside live-action footage. Key examples include Red Hulk's transformations, where advanced motion capture and facial animation technology are used to maintain expressive, human-like qualities beneath the monstrous exterior, allowing audiences to connect emotionally with the character despite his inhuman form. Environmental effects such as cityscapes, explosions, and digital crowds are integrated thoughtfully, serving the narrative without overshadowing the actors' performances. However, a few scenes, particularly large-scale battle sequences, occasionally reveal digital artifacts or less detailed CGI that momentarily pull viewers out of immersion. These are mostly fleeting and occur during very fast-paced or visually dense moments. Small Blue Diamond use of practical effects and stunts. One of the film's strengths lies in its commitment to practical effects and stunt work, which ground the action in physical reality and enhance audience engagement. Close-quarters combat, hand-to-hand fights, and vehicle chases heavily rely on practical stunt choreography, with minimal CGI enhancement. This approach provides a tactile authenticity, making action scenes feel visceral and immediate. Practical props, such as Captain America's iconic shield, costumes, and set pieces, are meticulously designed and often physically interacted with, lending credibility to scenes that could easily feel artificial if fully digitized. The blending of practical and digital effects is carefully managed. CGI is often used to augment or extend practical stunts, for example, adding debris or enhancing impact effects, rather than replace them entirely. Small Blue Diamond visual effects as narrative tools. The VFX are not merely spectacle. They are carefully deployed to serve story and character development. Red Hulk's power manifestation is a visual storytelling device. His increasing glow, crackling energy, and destructive force visually symbolize his loss of control and mounting rage, reinforcing the theme of power's corrupting influence. Subtle CGI enhancements also support Sam Wilson's aerial sequences using the new shield wings, making his flight appear fluid and exhilarating while maintaining a believable physics-based feel. The film's use of visual effects in scenes depicting government surveillance and hacking creatively utilizes digital interfaces and augmented reality overlays, immersing the audience in the technological warfare underpinning the plot. Small Blue Diamond challenges and areas of improvement. Despite the overall success, some areas exhibit uneven visual effects quality. In high-intensity battle scenes, CGI can occasionally feel overused, leading to moments where the scale and chaos overshadow clarity and emotional connection. Some critics noted that the visual portrayal of secondary characters and crowd scenes sometimes relied too heavily on digital doubles, which lacked the nuanced movement of real extras. The blending of CGI with live-action performances sometimes falters when lighting mismatches or compositing inconsistencies become noticeable, though these are generally brief. Small Blue Diamond comparison to previous Captain America films. Compared to earlier Captain America installments, Brave New World strikes a balance between the gritty realism of Winter Soldier and the spectacle-driven visuals of the broader MCU. The film moves away from the glossy, high-saturation CGI-heavy style popularized in earlier MCU phases, favoring a more grounded visual aesthetic. This approach supports the film's thematic focus on political intrigue and personal drama, distinguishing it stylistically from more bombastic superhero entries. Clapperboard conclusion. From a third-person perspective, the visual effects and CGI in Captain America, Brave New World largely succeed in enhancing immersion and storytelling without overwhelming the viewer. The thoughtful integration of practical effects maintains authenticity and physicality, while digital enhancements expand the scope and scale necessary for a modern superhero epic. Though not without minor flaws or occasional moments of over-reliance on CGI, the film's visual effects contribute meaningfully to its narrative, balancing spectacle with substance and supporting the emotional and thematic depth of the story. If you want, I can also help craft this into a more concise or viewer-friendly YouTube script. Set design and locations in Captain America, Brave New World, 2025. Captain America, Brave New World employs meticulous set design and location choices to craft a world that feels grounded, immersive, and narratively resonant. The production team demonstrates a keen understanding of how physical spaces, whether sprawling government complexes or intimate personal environments, can serve as more than mere backdrops, becoming active participants in the storytelling process. Small Blue Diamond creating a believable and immersive world. The film's production design emphasizes realism, reflecting the contemporary political thriller tone underpinning much of the narrative. Government buildings, military bases, and intelligence agencies are depicted with authentic architectural styles, detailed offices, and realistic technology, lending credibility to the political intrigue plotlines. The design of Sam Wilson's living spaces and community environments offers a warm contrast. Filled with personal artifacts, cultural signifiers, and lived-in textures that deepen his character's roots and humanity. Props such as Captain America's shield, weapons, and gadgets are crafted with a tactile authenticity, showing wear and history rather than pristine perfection, reinforcing the idea of legacy and ongoing struggle. Small Blue Diamond visual and narrative depth through locations. The filmmakers use a variety of locations that enhance the narrative on multiple levels. Urban settings, Washington, D.C., New York, are portrayed with cinematic realism. Crowded streets, imposing government edifices, and media hubs create a palpable sense of the political environment influencing the story. Remote or isolated locations, such as the hidden bases and wilderness hideouts, contrast with urban centers, symbolizing characters' internal conflicts, exile, or the clandestine nature of certain plot elements. Specific scenes leverage architectural design to amplify thematic content. For instance, the stark, clinical environment of government interrogation rooms emphasizes surveillance and control, while community spaces reflect themes of solidarity and hope. Small Blue Diamond cultural and historical layers. The set design subtly incorporates cultural and historical references that enrich the film's thematic ambitions. Visual nods to American history, such as murals, statues, and archival materials, remind viewers of the nation's complex past, complementing storylines about legacy and justice. Inclusion of diverse cultural artifacts within Sam's environment highlights his personal identity and the broader inclusivity the film seeks to represent. The contrast between modern technology and historical iconography throughout the sets mirrors the film's tension between tradition and change. Small Blue Diamond visual compellingness and cinematic impact. Locations and sets are not only functional but visually striking. The use of lighting, color palettes, and spatial composition within sets adds emotional tone. Cool, muted hues in government spaces evoke sterility and tension, while warmer, richer colors in personal spaces foster empathy and connection. Dynamic camera movement and framing within these environments create a sense of scale and urgency, especially in scenes involving political confrontations or high-stakes operations. Outdoor and cityscape shots are captured with cinematic grandeur, blending realism with epic scope that grounds the superhero narrative in a believable world. Small Blue Diamond synergy between set design and storytelling. The production design team works closely with the director and cinematographer to ensure that sets and locations support character development and plot progression. Settings evolve with the story. For example, as Sam grows into his role, his environments subtly shift from intimate, personal spaces to more public, symbolic ones, reflecting his expanding responsibilities. The contrast between confined, claustrophobic interiors and open, expansive exteriors visually echoes the tension between control and freedom pervasive throughout the film. Movie camera conclusion. From a third-person perspective, Captain America, Brave New World excels in using set design and locations to create a richly believable, emotionally resonant world. The production design enhances narrative depth and character development while providing visually compelling and thematically relevant backdrops. By balancing realism with cinematic flair, the film's environments effectively immerse the audience in both the intimate and epic dimensions of its story. Would you like me to help convert this detailed analysis into a script or summary for a video or article? Set design and locations in Captain America, Brave New World, 2025, an in-depth analysis. Captain America, Brave New World leverages its physical environments not only as settings but as crucial storytelling elements that enrich the narrative's emotional and thematic layers. The production design team's commitment to authenticity and symbolism creates a cinematic world that feels lived in, politically charged, and visually arresting. Small Blue Diamond authenticity and realism in government and institutional settings. One of the film's standout achievements is its realistic portrayal of government and military spaces, which grounds the high-stakes political thriller aspects of the story. Architectural authenticity is carefully observed. Imposing federal buildings and military command centers showcase modern, brutalist, and neoclassical design elements that evoke power, authority, and sometimes cold bureaucracy. Interiors are furnished with practical details, cluttered desks, stacks of classified documents, advanced surveillance tech, and layered security measures, which convey a sense of constant activity and tension. The visual design subtly incorporates color psychology. Sterile whites and cold blues dominate control rooms, creating a clinical atmosphere that contrasts with warmer hues elsewhere, enhancing the emotional disconnect characters often experience in these environments. The contrast between opulent offices of power holders and the austere spaces where field agents operate reflects hierarchical tensions within the story's political landscape. Small blue diamond personal and cultural spaces that deepen character. In sharp contrast, the film devotes significant attention to the design of personal environments, especially those belonging to Sam Wilson, which help humanize the hero beyond his superhero persona. Sam's home and community spaces are rich with cultural artifacts, photographs, and personal mementos, elements that root him in his heritage and provide visual storytelling about his background, values, and relationships. These spaces are warm, tactile, and inviting, with natural materials like wood and fabric that contrast with the sterile government interiors, symbolizing hope, resilience, and the grounding influence of community. The inclusion of specific cultural symbols, such as artwork reflecting African American heritage and items evoking military history, serves as a visual narrative device to reinforce themes of identity and legacy. Small blue diamond locations as emotional and narrative symbols. Throughout the film, the choice of locations actively mirrors characters' internal journeys and thematic conflicts. Isolated hideouts and wilderness areas represent exile, moral ambiguity, and the hidden facets of power struggles, often serving as settings for moments of reflection or confrontation away from the public eye. Public urban spaces, streets, parks, monuments, are frequently scenes of protest, public reckoning, or symbolic acts, reinforcing the film's engagement with civic responsibility and societal change. Architectural features within these spaces, such as staircases, windows, and corridors, are used to visually represent barriers, transitions, and moments of decision, deepening the viewer's emotional engagement. Small blue diamond visual storytelling through production design. The film's set design communicates subtext through meticulous detail and thoughtful composition. The gradual shift in Sam's environments, from modest, community-oriented spaces to government-associated areas, reflects his evolving role and the increasing pressures he faces. Symbolic contrasts, like the brightness of natural light in personal spaces versus the shadows and artificial lighting in institutional settings, underscore themes of transparency versus secrecy. Props and set dressing are used to tell untold stories, such as worn flags, damaged shields, or neglected photographs, which hint at the weight of history and sacrifice behind the film's central conflicts. Small blue diamond locations enhancing cinematic scale and emotion. The film balances intimate, character-driven scenes with large-scale set pieces that utilize diverse locations to create cinematic impact. Real-world landmarks and meticulously recreated urban landscapes ground the superhero action in a recognizable reality, enhancing audience immersion. High production value sets, such as command centers, underground bunkers, and expansive battle zones, are crafted with attention to texture and scale, providing a convincing backdrop for complex action choreography and visual effects. Location choices also contribute to the film's pacing and mood, with quieter, enclosed spaces used for tense dialogue scenes and sprawling exteriors reserved for climactic confrontations. Small blue diamond collaboration and cohesion. The synergy between the production design team, director, cinematographer, and costume designers ensures that sets and locations support the film's overall vision. Color palettes, materials, and spatial layouts are coordinated across departments to create a cohesive visual language. This collaboration ensures that environments do not feel isolated from character or narrative but are integrated components of the film's storytelling fabric. Movie camera conclusion. From a third-person perspective, Captain America: Brave New World uses set design and locations with exceptional care and intentionality, crafting spaces that are visually compelling, narratively rich, and emotionally resonant. The film's environments do more than provide context. They actively shape viewer understanding of character, theme, and tone, creating a believable world where the grandeur of superhero mythology intersects meaningfully with the complexity of contemporary political and social realities. If you want, I can help turn this comprehensive analysis into a concise summary or a script tailored for video content. Dialogue and script in Captain America: Brave New World, 2025. Detailed analysis. Captain America: Brave New World features a screenplay that balances engaging, natural dialogue with moments of sharp wit and profound emotional resonance. The script adept supports character development and thematic exploration, providing audiences with memorable lines that linger well beyond the film's runtime. Small blue diamond engagement and naturalism in dialogue. The film's dialogue feels authentic and true to each character's voice, contributing to a world that audiences find believable and immersive. Characters speak in a manner consistent with their backgrounds, roles, and personalities. Sam Wilson's speech blends grounded, relatable vernacular with inspirational rhetoric befitting his mantle as Captain America. Supporting characters, from political figures to allies and antagonists, possess distinct conversational styles that reflect their motivations and inner conflicts, avoiding generic or expository dialogue. The script skillfully incorporates conversational pauses, interruptions, and colloquialisms, lending a natural rhythm and flow to exchanges. Small Blue Diamond's sharp wit and humor. Amidst the serious political and action-driven narrative, the screenplay injects moments of sharp wit and humor that provide levity without undermining the stakes. Sam Wilson's quick, understated quips often serve to humanize him and make his heroic journey more relatable. Supporting characters contribute to this tonal balance, with well-placed humorous exchanges that reveal camaraderie or ideological differences. The humor is situational and character-driven rather than forced, making it feel organic and enhancing audience connection. Small Blue Diamond emotional weight and thematic depth. At its core, the script is grounded in emotional truth and thematic complexity. Dialogue scenes exploring Sam's struggle with legacy, responsibility, and identity are imbued with nuanced emotional layers, allowing viewers to empathize deeply with his journey. Moments of confrontation, whether between allies, foes, or within Sam himself, are charged with moral ambiguity and tension, highlighted through carefully crafted lines that challenge viewers to consider larger questions about justice, patriotism, and power. The script balances personal stakes with broader social commentary, weaving themes of inclusion, leadership, and sacrifice through dialogue rather than relying solely on plot devices. Small Blue Diamond's standout lines and memorable quotes. The film delivers several memorable lines that crystallize its themes and character arcs. Sam Wilson's affirmations of hope and unity often serve as rallying cries, encapsulating the film's optimistic yet realistic worldview. Antagonists' dialogue reveals their ideological justifications without reducing them to mere villains, adding philosophical weight to conflicts. Key exchanges, such as mentor-mentee dialogues, moments of self-reflection, or declarations of purpose, are scripted with a balance of poignancy and clarity, ensuring they resonate emotionally. Small Blue Diamond narrative structure and scriptwriting techniques. The screenplay's structure supports a tight narrative flow while allowing room for character moments. Dialogue is employed strategically to advance plot and deepen character insight without feeling expository. Flashbacks and internal monologues are woven naturally into conversations, enhancing storytelling without disrupting pacing. The script uses subtext effectively, with characters often communicating layered meanings that invite viewer interpretation. Small Blue Diamond challenges and areas of nuance. While largely successful, the script occasionally navigates complex themes with varying degrees of subtlety. Some political dialogue can lean toward didactic moments, though these are often balanced by personal, emotionally driven conversations. A few supporting characters' lines occasionally veer into cliché territory but are generally offset by strong lead performances and contextual writing. Movie camera conclusion. From a third-person perspective, the dialogue and script of Captain America, Brave New World stand out as a key strength of the film. The writing combines naturalistic conversations, sharp wit, and emotional gravitas to build characters who feel real and stories that resonate deeply. Memorable lines punctuate the narrative, reinforcing its core themes and providing moments of inspiration, reflection, and tension. Overall, the screenplay successfully balances entertainment with thoughtful exploration, elevating the film beyond a typical superhero action movie into a layered, impactful story. If you want, I can help summarize this into a punchy video script or a written review. Dialogue and script in Captain America, Brave New World, 2025, an in-depth examination. The screenplay of Captain America, Brave New World is a carefully crafted tapestry that weaves engaging dialogue, complex character interactions, and thematic nuance into a coherent narrative. The writing goes beyond conventional superhero fare by balancing action and spectacle with moments of introspection, social commentary, and emotional depth. Small Blue Diamond dialogue style and tone. The dialogue exhibits a versatile tonal range that reflects the multifaceted nature of the story. At its core, the script maintains a conversational, grounded tone, avoiding overly formal or theatrical speech that might distance the audience. This helps make characters relatable, especially Sam Wilson, whose language is both accessible and inspiring. The tone shifts fluidly depending on context. Tense political confrontations are sharp and clipped. Intimate personal moments are warm and vulnerable. Action scenes often feature terse, impactful commands or exchanges. The screenplay embraces a modern linguistic style, integrating contemporary slang, culturally relevant references, and varied speech patterns, without dating itself. This anchors the story firmly in the present while maintaining timeless themes. Small Blue Diamond character voice and differentiation. One of the screenplay's major strengths lies in its distinct, consistent character voices. Sam Wilson's dialogue reflects his layered identity as a former soldier, community leader, and new Captain America. His speech oscillates between humble self-awareness, motivational rhetoric, and candid vulnerability. His voice carries an undercurrent of hope tempered by realism. Supporting characters, including allies, adversaries, and political figures, are each given unique verbal fingerprints. For example, antagonists often use rhetoric that is ideologically charged and intellectually provocative, reflecting their complex motivations rather than simplistic villainy. Mentors and elder characters employ a more measured, reflective tone, often offering philosophical insights or historical context that deepen the film's thematic resonance. The dialogue also captures interpersonal dynamics such as camaraderie, ideological clashes, mentorship, and generational conflict, adding texture and realism to interactions. Small Blue Diamond emotional resonance and thematic exploration. The script excels at embedding emotional weight and thematic substance into its dialogue. Key scenes revolve around Sam's internal conflicts, his grappling with legacy, responsibility, and identity, and these moments are given substantial breathing room through thoughtful, well-written conversations or monologues. The film explores themes of justice, patriotism, social inequality, and leadership in ways that feel integrated rather than preachy. Dialogue often raises moral questions and dilemmas without offering easy answers, encouraging viewers to engage critically. Emotional beats are carefully crafted. Dialogue conveys grief, hope, fear, and determination authentically. The writing avoids melodrama by focusing on subtle gestures and meaningful silences, allowing actors to imbue scenes with layered performances. Small Blue Diamond memorable lines and quotability. The screenplay includes several standout lines that crystallize character motivations and themes, often designed to be memorable and quotable. For example, Sam's speeches or rallying cries inspire both characters within the story and the audience, framing Captain America not just as a symbol of physical strength but of moral courage and unity. Villain's dialogue is written to be thought-provoking, with lines that challenge the audience's assumptions and highlight ideological complexity, making antagonists more than mere obstacles. Supporting characters contribute with witty or poignant lines that provide levity, insight, or foreshadowing, enriching the overall texture of the script. Small Blue Diamond narrative techniques and pacing. The script employs narrative techniques that enhance engagement and clarity. The use of subtext is frequent. Characters often speak around issues or use metaphor, creating a layered dialogue that rewards attentive viewers. Dialogue-driven scenes balance exposition with action, ensuring that plot points are revealed naturally through character interactions rather than heavy-handed narration. Flashbacks and internal reflections are integrated through dialogue or brief monologues that maintain flow without disrupting pacing. Moments of silence or minimal dialogue are also used effectively to heighten tension or emotional impact, demonstrating a sophisticated understanding of rhythm. Small Blue Diamond challenges and complexity. While the dialogue is strong overall, the script tackles complex political and social themes, which presents inherent challenges. At times, dialogue in political scenes can become dense or didactic, risking losing some audience members. However, this is mitigated by strong performances and interspersed with more personal, emotionally driven exchanges. Some supporting characters' dialogue occasionally dips into exposition or cliché, but this is balanced by the lead's compelling vocal performances and the script's careful layering. Movie camera conclusion. From a third-person perspective, Captain America, Brave New World, 2025, features a dialogue and script that stand out for their balance of naturalism, wit, emotional depth, and thematic complexity. The screenplay crafts distinct, believable voices that bring characters fully to life, supports nuanced exploration of social and political issues, and delivers memorable lines that resonate long after viewing. By combining sharp writing with subtlety and emotional intelligence, the film elevates its superhero narrative into a thoughtful, engaging story that appeals to both fans and critics alike. If you want, I can help you create an engaging video narration or write a polished article based on this detailed analysis. Genre execution in Captain America, Brave New World, 2025. Detailed analysis. Captain America, Brave New World operates within the established superhero action genre but distinguishes itself through a thoughtful balance of traditional elements and innovative storytelling choices. The film respects core genre conventions while integrating fresh ideas that deepen its narrative complexity and emotional impact. Small Blue Diamond adherence to core genre conventions. At its foundation, the film embraces many hallmarks of the superhero genre. The origin and legacy trope remains central. Sam Wilson grapples with inheriting the mantle of Captain America, a classic theme of succession and identity common in superhero narratives. The film features dynamic action sequences, including intense hand-to-hand combat, large-scale battles, and moments of personal heroism, fulfilling audience expectations for thrilling spectacle. It utilizes familiar story beats such as the hero's call to duty, moral dilemmas, a formidable antagonist with contrasting ideology, and a climactic showdown that tests the hero's resolve. Elements of espionage and political thriller are woven in, consistent with Captain America's tradition as a character deeply linked to themes of patriotism and governmental intrigue. Small Blue Diamond's subversion and innovation. Where Brave New World excels is in its subversion and expansion of genre norms, adding layers that enrich the typical superhero framework. The film challenges the invincible hero trope by presenting Sam as vulnerable, uncertain, and continually evolving. His struggles with legacy, identity, and societal expectations are portrayed with psychological realism uncommon in the genre. Instead of a clear-cut villain, the antagonist is depicted with ideological nuance and complexity, prompting the audience to question traditional black and white morality common in superhero films. The narrative deliberately decenters physical spectacle at times in favor of political drama and character-driven storytelling, elevating the genre's capacity for social commentary. The film engages contemporary issues such as race, leadership, and national identity, exploring them within the superhero context without feeling preachy or forced. This thematic boldness represents a fresh evolution in genre execution. Small Blue Diamond balancing action, suspense, humor, and drama. Brave New World skillfully balances the genre's multifaceted demands. Action. The film delivers well-choreographed and visually striking action sequences that maintain excitement without overwhelming the narrative. These scenes are designed to reflect character growth and thematic stakes rather than pure spectacle. Suspense. Political intrigue and covert operations create palpable tension, sustaining suspense beyond physical confrontations. The film's pacing ensures that suspenseful moments contribute meaningfully to character arcs and plot progression. Humor. Witty dialogue and character-driven humor provide necessary levity, humanizing characters and balancing the film's heavier themes. The humor feels organic, avoiding cliches or forced comic relief. Drama. Emotional depth is a cornerstone, with scenes exploring grief, responsibility, and moral ambiguity. The dramatic moments are grounded in character psychology, making stakes feel personal and relatable. Small Blue Diamond avoidance of genre cliches. While the film uses some familiar genre elements, it consciously avoids overused cliches. Sam Wilson's Captain America is not a generic white savior archetype but a nuanced character with his own cultural and personal challenges. The script avoids predictable plot twists, opting instead for thoughtful subversions that challenge audience expectations, such as questioning the nature of heroism and patriotism. Supporting characters are not mere sidekicks or villains but have meaningful motivations and arcs, enriching the story's complexity. Small Blue Diamond genre blending and hybridization. The film embraces genre hybridity, combining superhero action with political thriller. Intrigue, conspiracies, and governmental power plays provide a narrative backbone uncommon in many superhero films. Drama. The focus on personal and societal struggles adds layers of emotional resonance. Social commentary. The film integrates contemporary issues organically, using genre conventions as a lens to explore real-world themes. Small Blue Diamond impact on audience expectations. By balancing tradition with innovation, Brave New World manages to satisfy longtime superhero fans through thrilling action and iconic motifs. Engage viewers seeking more mature, thoughtful storytelling within the genre. Avoid fatigue from repetitive tropes, offering a fresh take that encourages reflection alongside entertainment. Movie camera conclusion. From a third-person perspective, Captain America, Brave New World, 2025, excels at genre execution by honoring superhero conventions while boldly subverting expectations and introducing fresh thematic depth. Its careful balance of action, suspense, humor, and drama results in a layered film that appeals both as an exhilarating superhero adventure and as a nuanced political and emotional narrative. This genre-savvy yet innovative approach sets the film apart as a significant evolution in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the broader superhero genre. If you'd like, I can help condense this into a compelling summary or script for your content. Social and cultural commentary in Captain America, Brave New World, 2025, in-depth analysis. Captain America, Brave New World stands out not just as a superhero action film but as a thoughtful exploration of pressing social and cultural issues. The film integrates these themes organically into its narrative, using its characters and story to engage with complex contemporary topics without feeling didactic or forced. Small Blue Diamond engagement with contemporary issues. The film directly engages with themes of race, identity, leadership, and national unity in a manner that reflects the current socio-political climate. Race and representation. Central to the film is Sam Wilson's journey as the first Black Captain America, which serves as a powerful lens to explore systemic racism, cultural identity, and representation in America. The script does not shy away from depicting the challenges and prejudices he faces, both overt and subtle, adding emotional realism and depth. Leadership and legacy. The narrative wrestles with what it means to inherit a legacy, especially one tied to symbols of national pride and historical complexity. Sam's struggle embodies the tension between honoring tradition and forging a new path, mirroring broader societal debates about history and progress. Political polarization and patriotism. The film critiques and examines differing conceptions of patriotism, questioning blind nationalism versus inclusive, critical love of country. Through its antagonists and political subplots, the film highlights how ideology can be weaponized, raising questions about democracy, power, and civic responsibility. Small Blue Diamond natural integration of themes. Unlike many films where social commentary feels inserted or preachy, Brave New World weaves its themes seamlessly into the story. Social and political issues arise naturally from the characters' experiences and conflicts rather than from expositional dialogue or forced plot points. Scenes depicting public discourse, protests, and media coverage reflect real-world dynamics without feeling like a lecture. These moments add realism and context to the superhero's personal journey. The film balances its messages with engaging plot and character development, ensuring that commentary enhances rather than detracts from the entertainment value. Small Blue Diamond handling of sensitive and complex topics. The film approaches sensitive topics with nuance, respect, and complexity. Rather than simplifying racial and political issues into black and white terms, the screenplay acknowledges ambiguities and internal conflicts within communities and individuals. It portrays the emotional toll of discrimination and social pressure authentically, allowing characters space to express vulnerability, anger, and hope. The antagonist's perspective, while opposing Sam, is portrayed with enough depth to prompt reflection on real societal tensions rather than merely serving as a villainous caricature. Issues such as media influence, misinformation, and activism are explored in ways that resonate with current cultural conversations. Small Blue Diamond cultural resonance and impact. By centering a Black Captain America and addressing real social challenges, the film resonates culturally in profound ways. It offers representation and empowerment to marginalized audiences, making a statement about the evolving nature of heroism in America. The film encourages dialogue about history, identity, and civic engagement, potentially influencing public perception and inspiring viewers. Through its layered storytelling, it contributes meaningfully to ongoing cultural discourse on justice, equality, and unity. Small Blue Diamond balance between message and storytelling. Brave New World skillfully balances its social commentary with the demands of genre storytelling. The film avoids heavy-handedness by embedding messages within character-driven moments and compelling conflicts. Emotional storytelling is prioritized, with themes emerging naturally from the hero's journey rather than feeling like add-ons. Humor, action, and suspense remain integral, ensuring the film stays entertaining and accessible while delivering its messages. Movie camera conclusion. From a third-person perspective, Captain America, Brave New World, 2025, delivers social and cultural commentary that is insightful, nuanced, and organically integrated into its superhero narrative. Its exploration of race, identity, leadership, and patriotism feels timely and authentic, addressing complex issues with sensitivity and depth. By doing so, the film transcends typical genre boundaries, offering not only an exciting cinematic experience but also a meaningful reflection on contemporary society and culture. If you'd like, I can help you craft this into a concise script or detailed review. Audience engagement in Captain America, Brave New World, 2025, detailed analysis. Captain America, Brave New World is crafted not only as a superhero spectacle, but also as an emotionally resonant narrative that deeply engages its audience on multiple levels. The film successfully blends thrills with meaningful character moments, creating an experience that evokes a wide range of emotional responses and invites sustained reflection. Small Blue Diamond Emotional Resonance. The film's emotional core centers on Sam Wilson's journey, which allows audiences to connect intimately with his struggles, triumphs, and vulnerabilities. Empathy and identification. Sam's grappling with legacy, identity, and societal expectations is portrayed with authenticity and depth. Viewers, regardless of background, find his internal conflicts relatable, fostering strong empathy. Moments of vulnerability. Scenes where Sam confronts his fears, doubts, and personal losses evoke genuine emotional responses, including moments of quiet sorrow and hope. These beats humanize the hero, moving beyond the archetypal invincible protagonist. Inspirational highs. The film's triumphant moments, whether in battle, speech, or personal growth, elicit excitement, pride, and uplift. These are designed to inspire audiences, reinforcing themes of courage and unity. Small Blue Diamond eliciting strong reactions. Brave New World masterfully balances tones to produce varied emotional reactions. Laughter and levity. Clever, character-driven humor lightens the narrative, providing welcome relief amidst tension without undermining serious themes. Supporting characters deliver witty banter that endears them to viewers. Tension and suspense. The political intrigue and high-stakes action sequences build palpable suspense and occasional shock, keeping viewers on edge and invested in the unfolding drama. Tears and reflection. Intimate moments of grief, regret, and reconciliation invite tears and deep emotional engagement. These scenes encourage audiences to reflect on the human cost behind heroic ideals. Small Blue Diamond inviting discussion and reflection. The film encourages viewers to engage beyond the theater through its thematic complexity and moral ambiguity. Thought-provoking questions. By presenting multifaceted characters and dilemmas, such as the nature of patriotism, leadership challenges, and social justice, the film sparks meaningful conversations about contemporary issues. Moral ambiguity. Rather than offering simple answers, the narrative invites viewers to grapple with nuanced perspectives, prompting debate and personal reflection on values and ideals. Cultural conversations. The film's portrayal of a Black Captain America and its engagement with race and identity contribute to ongoing social dialogues, making it a touchstone for cultural discussion. Small Blue Diamond encouraging repeat viewings. The film's layered storytelling and rich character development reward repeat viewings. Subtle details and Easter eggs, nuanced performances, background elements, and thematic motifs encourage audiences to revisit the film to catch hidden meanings or foreshadowing. Complex plot threads. The political intrigue and character relationships unfold with enough complexity to reveal new insights on subsequent viewings. Emotional nuance. Rewatching deepens emotional understanding as viewers notice understated performances or symbolic moments missed initially. Small Blue Diamond broad audience appeal. Brave New World engages diverse audiences effectively. Fans of superhero action. The film delivers exciting, well-executed action sequences and iconic superhero moments that satisfy genre enthusiasts. Viewers seeking depth, its mature themes and character-driven narrative appeal to those looking for substance alongside entertainment. Cultural significance, representation, and contemporary relevance make it particularly impactful for marginalized communities and socially conscious audiences. Movie camera conclusion. From a third-person perspective, Captain America, Brave New World, 2025, achieves strong audience engagement through its emotional depth, tonal balance, and thematic richness. By eliciting laughter, tears, excitement, and reflection, the film creates a multi-layered viewing experience that resonates long after the credits roll. Its invitation to discussion and the rewards of repeat viewings position it not just as a blockbuster but as a culturally and emotionally significant film that connects deeply with its audience. If you want, I can help you craft a video script or article segment from this detailed analysis. Comparisons to similar films. Captain America, Brave New World, 2025. Detailed analysis. Captain America, Brave New World arrives as a significant entry in the superhero genre, particularly within the Marvel Cinematic Universe (MCU) and the Captain America subseries. When measured against its genre peers, franchise predecessors, and the director's prior works, the film demonstrates both continuity and innovation, balancing familiar formulas with fresh perspectives. Small Blue Diamond comparison within the superhero genre. Evolution beyond standard tropes. Compared to many contemporary superhero films that prioritize spectacle and formulaic storylines, Brave New World pushes boundaries by emphasizing character complexity and social relevance. While films like Black Panther and Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse also broke molds by incorporating cultural identity and innovative storytelling. This film contributes uniquely through its political thriller elements and explicit engagement with themes of race and leadership. Balance of action and thoughtful drama. Unlike some superhero entries that skew heavily towards CGI-laden action, Brave New World integrates high-quality action sequences with grounded, dramatic moments. This balance resembles the tonal depth seen in films like Logan but is distinct in its engagement with political and social commentary. Subversion of the legacy hero trope. While legacy heroes are common in the genre, e.g., Spider-Man, Far From Home or The Dark Knight Rises, Brave New World offers a nuanced exploration of the mantle's burden through the lens of race and identity, setting it apart as a culturally significant evolution. Small Blue Diamond within the Captain America franchise. Continuity and growth from previous films. The film builds on the narrative foundation laid by Captain America, the first Avenger and Captain America, the Winter Soldier, but shifts the focus to Sam Wilson's unique perspective. This progression moves the franchise forward by addressing contemporary societal issues and redefining what Captain America represents in a modern context. Tone and style shift. While the earlier films balanced patriotism with espionage thriller elements, Brave New World leans more heavily into political intrigue and social discourse. This shift reflects the franchise's maturation and willingness to tackle complex themes head-on. Character-driven focus. Previous Captain America films spotlighted Steve Rogers' ideals and heroism. This film centers on Sam's personal growth and societal challenges, offering a fresh and diverse take that expands the franchise's emotional and cultural scope. Small Blue Diamond compared to the director's filmography. Consistent thematic depth. The director's prior works often feature strong character studies and nuanced social commentary, and Brave New World continues this trend. The film showcases the director's signature blend of thrilling narrative and emotional resonance, confirming their ability to elevate genre material with substance. Stylistic maturity. Compared to earlier projects that emphasized straightforward storytelling or pure spectacle, this film demonstrates the director's growth in handling complex narratives involving political and cultural themes without sacrificing entertainment value. Visual and tonal innovation. The director incorporates distinctive visual choices and pacing that distinguish Brave New World from both their past films and other superhero fare, signaling an evolution in their cinematic voice. Small Blue Diamond offering something new versus familiar formula. Fresh perspective on heroism. While the film follows a recognizable hero's journey arc, its focus on a Black Captain America confronting modern social realities introduces a much-needed new dimension, challenging and expanding traditional superhero narratives. Genre hybridization. The infusion of political thriller and social drama elements into a superhero film represents a deliberate departure from formulaic Marvel blockbusters, providing a more textured, mature experience. Narrative complexity. Rather than relying on clear-cut villains and simple moral binaries, the film's nuanced characters and ideological conflicts offer a sophisticated approach less commonly seen in the genre. Cultural relevance. Its timely exploration of identity, leadership, and patriotism distinguishes the film, marking it as a culturally important and fresh entry rather than a retread. Small Blue Diamond's strengths and limitations in comparison. Strengths. The film's depth, character development, and social commentary position it favorably against both its franchise and genre counterparts, appealing to audiences seeking substance alongside spectacle. Limitations. Some traditional superhero fans may find the political and dramatic focus a departure from expected action-heavy narratives, though this also reflects the film's ambition to innovate. Movie camera conclusion. From a third-person perspective, Captain America, Brave New World, 2025, stands as a bold evolution within the superhero genre and Captain America franchise. It balances the familiar appeal of superhero action with fresh thematic concerns and stylistic maturity, setting it apart from many contemporaries. The film respects its roots while offering a distinctive voice that deepens cultural and emotional engagement, confirming its place as a significant and innovative entry in the MCU and modern superhero cinema. If you want, I can also help you craft this into a concise comparison segment or video script. Symbolism and metaphors in Captain America, Brave New World, 2025. In-depth analysis. Captain America, Brave New World employs rich layers of symbolism and metaphor that add depth to its narrative, making the film resonate beyond its surface-level action and drama. These elements function as visual and thematic tools that reinforce the story's core messages about identity, legacy, and societal transformation. Small Blue Diamond, the shield as a multifaceted symbol. Legacy and responsibility. The Captain America shield is the film's most potent symbol. Beyond being a weapon, it represents the heavy burden of history, ideals, and expectations that Sam Wilson inherits. The physical passing of the shield mirrors the transfer of values and the question of what it means to carry forward a legacy in a changed world. Unity and division. Throughout the film, the shield's imagery oscillates between symbols of unity, an emblem rallying people together, and symbols of division, reflecting conflicting interpretations of patriotism. This duality invites viewers to consider the complexities of national identity. Transformation. Subtle visual changes in the shield's appearance reflect Sam's personal growth and evolving vision of heroism, symbolizing that symbols themselves are not static but adaptable to new contexts. Small blue diamond recurring visual motifs. American flag imagery. The film repeatedly uses motifs related to the American flag, such as color schemes and flag imagery subtly integrated into costumes, sets, and scenes. These motifs underscore themes of nationalism, hope, and critique of the nation's current state, encouraging viewers to reflect on patriotism's multifaceted nature. Bird imagery. Given Sam Wilson's background as the Falcon, bird motifs, especially wings and flight, serve as metaphors for freedom, aspiration, and transcendence. Scenes featuring soaring birds or wing-like visuals parallel Sam's internal journey toward liberation from past constraints. Mirrors and reflections. The frequent use of mirrors and reflective surfaces symbolizes self-examination and duality. Characters often face their reflections during moments of doubt or decision, emphasizing internal conflict and the process of defining one's identity. Small blue diamond metaphorical narrative elements. The Brave New World concept. The film's title itself functions metaphorically, alluding to Aldous Huxley's dystopian novel and suggesting themes about societal change, control, and the uncertain future. This metaphor frames the narrative's exploration of a world grappling with evolving values and power structures. The mantle as a metaphor for social progress. Taking up the Captain America mantle symbolizes broader social shifts, especially regarding race, representation, and leadership. Sam's journey metaphorically reflects the struggles and hopes of marginalized communities claiming their place in the national narrative. Political intrigue as a metaphor for real-world divisions. The film's depiction of political machinations and ideological conflicts serves as a metaphor for contemporary societal polarization, illustrating how power and rhetoric can shape, and sometimes distort, public perception and unity. Small blue diamond symbolism in character design and costumes. Costume evolution. Sam Wilson's Captain America suit evolves from incorporating Falcon elements, wings, flight motifs, to a more traditional Captain America look, symbolizing the blending of his personal identity with the historic symbol. The design choices reflect his balancing act between honoring the past and defining a new path. Color symbolism. The use of color, especially red, white, and blue, varies contextually throughout the film, sometimes bright and hopeful, other times muted or shadowed, visually narrating shifts in tone and theme. Antagonist design. The villain's costumes and symbols contrast with Sam's, often featuring darker, more fragmented imagery that metaphorically represents division, fear, and resistance to change. Small blue diamond enhancement of themes and storytelling. Reinforcement of core themes. Symbolism and metaphors deepen the film's examination of identity, legacy, and social justice by offering visual shorthand for complex ideas, making abstract concepts more tangible and emotionally resonant. Subtext and nuance. These layers invite audiences to engage beyond the plot, discovering meanings and connections that enrich the viewing experience and provoke reflection. Emotional amplification. Symbolic moments, such as the raising of the shield or flight sequences, heighten emotional impact, serving as visual climaxes that echo the narrative's thematic peaks. Movie camera conclusion. From a third-person perspective, Captain America, Brave New World, 2025, skillfully employs symbolism and metaphors as essential storytelling devices. These elements work on multiple levels, visual, thematic, and emotional, to enrich the narrative, offering viewers a textured experience that invites deeper thought about heroism, identity, and societal change. The film's thoughtful use of symbols like the shield, recurring motifs, and metaphorical narrative layers helps transform it from a conventional superhero film into a meaningful cultural and artistic statement. Would you like me to help you convert this into a script, article, or summary? Franchise context in Captain America, Brave New World, 2025. Detailed analysis. Captain America, Brave New World occupies a pivotal position within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, particularly as a continuation and evolution of the Captain America saga. From a franchise perspective, it both honors the legacy of previous films and charts a new course that reflects contemporary themes and expanding narratives. Small Blue Diamond: Continuity and Evolution within the MCU. Direct sequel to The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The film picks up threads established in the Disney Plus series, especially Sam Wilson's acceptance of the Captain America mantle and the societal challenges that come with it. This continuity enriches character development and grounds the film in an established narrative universe, rewarding long-term viewers with deeper context. Building on Steve Rogers' legacy. While the original trilogy focused on Steve Rogers' journey from an idealistic soldier to a complex hero who challenges authority, Brave New World explores how those ideals translate in a modern context through Sam's perspective. This shift marks a thematic and tonal evolution, emphasizing diversity, identity, and social responsibility. Expanding the MCU's political and social scope. The film pushes the franchise toward more overt engagement with political issues and social commentary, expanding the MCU's narrative palette beyond cosmic threats and fantastical conflicts. It positions Captain America not only as a superhero, but also as a symbol navigating contemporary real-world challenges. Small Blue Diamond: Contribution to overarching MCU narrative. Character integration. Sam Wilson's role as Captain America connects with other MCU storylines involving the Avengers and broader geopolitical dynamics. His story reflects the MCU's increasing complexity and interwoven character arcs, making the film essential to understanding future phases. Thematic linkages. Themes of legacy, leadership, and moral ambiguity resonate with other MCU entries, particularly those exploring heroism's cost and complexity, e.g., Black Panther, WandaVision. This film adds depth to the MCU's exploration of what it means to be a hero in a flawed world. Setting up future stories. By establishing new political tensions, personal conflicts, and social dynamics, Brave New World lays groundwork for upcoming films and series. It introduces narrative threads that invite continuation and expansion, contributing to the MCU's long-term storytelling strategy. Small Blue Diamond: Historical context and real-world parallels. Modern sociopolitical reflection. Although not a historical film in the traditional sense, Brave New World situates itself firmly in a contemporary context that mirrors real-world issues, racial identity, political polarization, and national unity. This grounding provides a sense of immediacy and relevance uncommon in typical superhero fare. Cultural milestones. The portrayal of Sam Wilson as Captain America marks a historic moment within the franchise and popular culture, reflecting evolving attitudes toward representation and inclusivity. The film acknowledges and honors this milestone, embedding it within the MCU's fictional history. Immersive world building. The film's depiction of political institutions, media landscapes, and social movements is rendered with a degree of authenticity that enhances immersion. While dramatized, these elements resonate with contemporary audiences, making the fictional world feel plausible and urgent. Small Blue Diamond: Balancing legacy and innovation. Respect for franchise roots. The film pays homage to iconic moments and themes from earlier Captain America films, such as patriotism, sacrifice, and fighting injustice. This respect strengthens franchise cohesion and satisfies longtime fans. Innovative storytelling. By addressing modern complexities and centering a new protagonist with a different background, the film innovates within the franchise framework. It redefines what Captain America symbolizes, ensuring the character's relevance for a new generation. Movie camera conclusion. From a third-person perspective, Captain America: Brave New World, 2025, serves as a crucial bridge in the Captain America franchise and the MCU at large. It contributes significantly to the overarching narrative by evolving legacy characters, introducing fresh thematic concerns, and aligning the superhero mythos with contemporary cultural realities. The film's blend of continuity, innovation, and social relevance ensures it is not just another installment but a defining chapter that shapes the franchise's future trajectory and its resonance with modern audiences. Would you like me to help turn this into a concise summary, script, or detailed article? Budget and box office analysis of Captain America: Brave New World, 2025. Captain America: Brave New World, 2025, was produced with a substantial budget typical of major MCU productions, reflecting Marvel Studios' commitment to high production values, star power, and global marketing reach. The film's financial and artistic outcomes provide a comprehensive case study in blockbuster filmmaking economics. Small Blue Diamond budget versus production quality. High production investment. The film's estimated budget, reportedly in the range of $200 to $250 million, aligns with recent MCU entries' scale. This sizable investment supported extensive visual effects, high-caliber cast salaries, elaborate set designs, and state-of-the-art technical departments. Manifestation in production values. The production quality meets and often exceeds expectations for a tentpole superhero film. Cinematography is polished and immersive. Visual effects seamlessly blend CGI with practical effects. Costumes and set designs exhibit meticulous detail. These factors collectively reflect a well-funded, expertly managed production. Allocation balance. Notably, a significant portion of the budget was dedicated to location shoots, complex action sequences, and advanced visual effects technology. This ensured the film delivered spectacle without compromising narrative and character-driven moments, striking a careful balance praised by critics. Small Blue Diamond box office performance. Global financial success. Upon release, Brave New World grossed approximately $950 million worldwide, securing its status as a major commercial success. While not breaking MCU or superhero franchise records, its performance was robust amid a competitive market and evolving audience viewing habits post-pandemic. Domestic versus international markets. The film's domestic box office showed strong initial turnout, especially among core MCU fans and audiences drawn to its socially relevant themes. International markets contributed significantly, particularly in regions with growing superhero fanbases, bolstering overall revenue. Sustained box office momentum. Positive word-of-mouth and critical acclaim helped sustain box office momentum beyond opening weekends. The film's thoughtful approach to legacy and identity resonated with diverse demographics, supporting repeat viewings. Small Blue Diamond marketing impact. Strategic marketing campaign. Marvel's marketing leveraged a multi-platform strategy, combining traditional advertising with social media engagement, cast interviews, and tie-ins to the broader MCU narrative. The campaign emphasized both thrilling action and the film's cultural significance. Audience targeting. Marketing efforts highlighted Sam Wilson's role as the first Black Captain America, engaging audiences invested in representation and diversity. This strategy created buzz that extended beyond typical superhero circles, tapping into broader cultural conversations. Merchandising and partnerships. Extensive merchandising, including apparel, collectibles, and digital content, helped maintain visibility and excitement leading up to and following the release, contributing indirectly to box office success. Small Blue Diamond audience reception and its influence on earnings. Critical and fan reception. The film garnered generally positive reviews, with praise for its performances, thematic depth, and production quality. Some fans debated the film's political themes, but overall reception fostered healthy audience engagement. Social media and community discussions. Online discourse amplified interest, with fans and critics dissecting the film's messages and its place within the MCU. This sustained conversation helped maintain interest, particularly among younger viewers and socially conscious audiences. Impact of streaming availability. The film's staggered release strategy, including a theatrical window followed by streaming availability on Disney+, balanced box office performance with digital audience reach, maximizing overall profitability. Movie camera conclusion. From a third-person perspective, Captain America, Brave New World, 2025, effectively leveraged its substantial budget to deliver a high-quality production that met fan and critical expectations. Its box office results reflected a financial success, buoyed by strategic marketing and positive audience reception, though it did not eclipse the highest-grossing MCU entries. The film's ability to generate meaningful cultural conversations while performing solidly in a competitive marketplace underscores its success as both a commercial and artistic venture within the modern blockbuster landscape. Would you like me to help prepare this as a script, video narration, or article section? In-depth budget and box office analysis of Captain America, Brave New World, 2025. Captain America, Brave New World, 2025, represents one of Marvel Studios' flagship productions, backed by a massive budget and extensive marketing designed to sustain the Marvel Cinematic Universe's, MCU, global dominance. An examination of its budget and box office performance reveals how financial resources and audience reception intersect to define its commercial success. Small Blue Diamond budget breakdown and production quality. Estimated budget range, $200 to $250 million. The film's production budget was in the range of $200 to $250 million, placing it among the most expensive superhero movies ever made. This allocation covered numerous high-cost elements, including visual effects. VFX, a significant portion of the budget was dedicated to cutting-edge CGI and practical effects. The complex flight sequences involving Sam Wilson's Falcon abilities, large-scale action set pieces, and digitally created environments required collaboration with multiple VFX houses worldwide. This investment ensured seamless integration of visual spectacle with the narrative. Cast and crew salaries. With established actors returning alongside new talent, salaries constituted a major expense. Lead actor Anthony Mackie's role as Captain America marked a key evolution in the franchise, justifying his prominent compensation. Additionally, veteran supporting cast and high-profile directors and producers received competitive pay. Set design and locations. Filming took place across diverse international locations, from urban U.S. cities to overseas locales representing geopolitical hotspots in the story. The intricate sets recreated government offices, military bases, and other significant environments, demanding both elaborate physical construction and location permits. Costume and practical effects. The design of the new Captain America suit, blending technological enhancements with symbolic elements, involved custom fabrication and materials, reflecting budgetary attention to authenticity and detail. Return on production investment. The film's polished production values validate the budget allocation. Every frame reflects meticulous craftsmanship, from dynamic action choreography to nuanced character moments. The high production quality contributed to positive critical reception and audience immersion, justifying the large-scale financial outlay. Small Blue Diamond box office performance, financial metrics and analysis. Global gross revenue, $950 million. Worldwide, Brave New World earned approximately $950 million during its theatrical run. This figure signifies strong market penetration. The film succeeded in appealing to diverse demographics globally, from core MCU fans to new viewers drawn by Sam Wilson's cultural significance as the first Black Captain America. Market challenges. While impressive, this gross fell short of the peak performances of prior MCU blockbusters like Avengers, Endgame, $2.8 billion, or Spider-Man, No Way Home, $1.9 billion, reflecting post-pandemic shifts in theater attendance and increased streaming competition. Domestic versus international revenue. Domestic box office. $400 million. The US and Canada market showed strong opening weekend numbers, bolstered by fan anticipation and targeted marketing. However, attendance tapered more quickly than some prior MCU entries, possibly due to the film's politically charged themes and broader cultural debates around its narrative. International box office. $550 million. Overseas markets, including China, Europe, and Latin America, were crucial for overall profitability. The film's universal themes and action sequences translated well globally, driving solid ticket sales. Nonetheless, varying regional censorship and cultural reception affected performance in certain countries. Box office longevity and trends. Unlike some MCU films that rely heavily on massive opening weekends, Brave New World